Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show here on Cliff Central Sport. Friday, the first Friday of this year. It's not. Is it the first Friday? I don't know. It's a pandemic. We're alive and it's a Friday, I guess. But yeah, first Friday of the show, and for me, it is probably my favorite segment that I get to do, the Friday Five. So after the Man United Man City this week, I thought I would talk about the five best derbies I have ever experienced in my life in terms of watching a football match live. So that'll be my five favorite football derbies. I mean, I even went to sporting derbies, and I couldn't really find any derbies outside of football really that I'd watched that I absolutely love. So that'll be the Friday five best derbies in football. And then I thought about the Man United Man City game, and I thought to myself, there should be a concern, because I've been thinking about it a lot, reading a lot of articles, listening to one or two podcasts. Is the more I listen to fans, Man United fans in particular, is I then came up with a few reasons, and I've got two reasons in particular why I think Man United fans should really be worried about what they saw. Outside of the loss itself, of course, they should really be worried long term about what they saw. But yeah, I am MKT Inspires on all social media platforms. Otherwise, it is Cliff Central Sport on all social media platforms. Cliff C Sport on the tweet monster, the tweet machine. All right, let's get into it. We'll make it a short, sharp show tonight. It is my Friday Five, and then I'll wrap up with my concerns of United. Let's get into it. It is the five greatest football derbies I've ever watched in the world. Start off at number five. Listen, it's in the north of the United Kingdom, and this was one of the. And I was about that lifestyle back in those days, because now I love going to sports events, but I don't drink anymore. So because I'm actually now I watch for the sport, and I love the chanting, and I like to chant at football games. I like that. I like to get involved. Getting a little older, probably becoming more of that old guy up there who just wants to clap, sing, and then go home. But back in the day, I was about the lifestyle, and I went up. My God, listen, the Tyne-Wear derby. It is Sunderland, Newcastle, St James's Park. It takes about 55,000 people, give or take. It is the most electric thing you could ever imagine. Unbelievable passion, the fervor. And I've watched it at both places. The other place is the Stadium of Light. It's worth flying to the United Kingdom to watch. Even if you don't support those teams, you are not going to get a more feverish pitch. And I've been to United Liverpool. It does not compare to this. The fever before the game, everything about it, the pure hatred. And I've been to the Merseyside derby. It does not compare to this. Listen, at number six, if I was doing a top six, by the way, it would be probably Middlesbrough. When Middlesbrough, of course, play at Newcastle, that is feisty stuff as well up there. But at number five, the Tyne-Wear derby, there's very few things in the world with that much passion, hate, fever, fervor, everything you can think of. It's an incredible football game. They love their football up there. And listen, in Newcastle, that's all they've got. Right? It is football, football, football. They got obviously Johnny Wilkinson, the Falcons, but no one. Rugby in England is a rich kids game. They let the Londoners do that. It is all Newcastle all the time. Great. The Magpies are everything to that city, and it is an incredible game. So worth flying to the United Kingdom. If you ever want to take a sporting touring holiday, I highly recommend the next time Sunderland, even if it's an FA Cup thing, Sunderland, Newcastle, worth it all the way. At number five, the Tyne-Wear derby is special. At number four, so again in the United Kingdom, at the time when I went, and I went a couple of times, it was a different time. One of the clubs since went into administration, but it is Scotland's biggest football game. It is two of the biggest clubs in world football. There's a religious divide which deepens sort of the divide there. It goes beyond a derby. There's pure hatred. You can feel the pure hatred. Now, I support the blue side of this. I always have, because I made a good friend from Scotland as soon as I got to the United Kingdom, and he gave me no choice, and I've supported this side ever since then. The Hoops dominated this one for a while. The Blues went into administration, but it is a great game. It is it's again one of those. I would take a tour. I would go with friends and make it an event just to go and watch as a neutral. It is incredible. The chanting, the hatred again, the party atmosphere. Nobody parties like the Scottish. They do it differently. The Old Firm Derby is a really emotional event because, as I say, it's a sectarian divide, right? You deepen that with the Protestant Catholic divide. It is, it's fueled politically, religiously, and then the divide of the white and blue. It is, the Rangers Celtic is spectacular. It is a spectacular event. And hey, you got to be able to look after yourself. Listen, you go to Glasgow, you got to be able to look after yourself. It is not a place where you go and you think you can have your skinny lattes with your almond milk. Not that place. Not Glasgow, not that day. But if you're a football fan, I'd highly recommend at number 4, the 4th best derby I've ever been to, the Old Firm Derby is special, Celtic Rangers. At number 3, it's lost its luster a bit. And actually, the city is not so great. Like everybody keeps talking about it as the fashion capital of the world. I've gone there and I'm like, oh, this place is just old and nothing works. And it's rather dilapidated, including the stadium, by the way. But when you get inside, and I support the blue half of this one again, and you get inside this very special Giuseppe Meazza Stadium, it is transcendent. You feel like you're leaving this planet. The ultras are out of this world. It is cult-like. There is nothing like these ultras. Maybe not in the whole of Europe, outside of Eastern Europe. I've been to a few Russian games, and I've been to some games in Bulgaria where the ultras are pretty firm. But this one's special. My favorite player of all time played for Inter Milan, El Trattore. The Milan derby is something I can't really explain in words. You really have to experience it. You've got to go there. Don't go to Milan for the touring. It's a terrible city. I'm sorry to say it. It's terrible. It's old. There's nothing there. Actually, considering how good the food is in the rest of Italy, the food's rubbish. It's overly expensive. They're quite tacky people actually, and a little unpleasant. A little bit like going to Paris. So never really wanted to go back to Milan, other than going to. I've been to 3 sort of derbies, the Milan derby. So the Milan derby, unbelievable. Worth it on a sporting tour again. These next 2, though, are in a world of their own. The one is not really a derby. So I'll start at number 2. At number 3, by the way, Milan derby, AC Milan, Inter Milan, San Siro. Spectacular. Been there 3 times. Number 2, this one's not really a derby. It's the two most successful teams of the 2010s. They had the 2 best players, some argue, of all time. I think they have the greatest player of all time and a guy who's in contention. Massive stadia. I've been to 6 now in my life. 4 in Madrid, and 2 at the great Nou Camp. El Clasico. It actually doesn't have the fever that people think it does. I think the television probably does it more. And I don't know if it's because both stadiums, 90,000 in Madrid and about 120,000 in Barcelona. Perhaps the stadiums are too big. But it's not the most feverish. But I've never seen that quality of football, because I've never seen, I got to see Xavi, Iniesta, Ronaldinho at the same time, Busquets coming through, got to see that. Sergio Ramos at the beginning. Incredible teams back then, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, great team. I saw the Toni Kroos team. So, it's been, I don't think I've seen that much quality on one football pitch ever. And I was at the World Cup final, which was pretty spectacular. But this is the most talent I've ever seen on the field, ever. Real Madrid, Barcelona. So El Clasico at number 2. So many special nights, so many special games. Got to see Ronaldinho live. Don't know how many people can say that. And he was at his best at Barcelona, right? He had 1 year at PSG and 2.5 years at Barcelona. Got to see both of those. So that was special for me. El Clasico is what I would say is the second best derby I've ever been to. At number 1, though, let me tell you, it's my favorite place in the world to go to in terms of touring, not necessarily the country, but the continent. It's the most transcendent experience I've ever had. It really it felt like I'd left this planet when I was there. Um, Argentina is a spectacular place on its own. It's good-looking people. It's really it's an assault on your senses. Good-looking people, very passionate people. You can feel the sort of nervous energy coming off the city, Buenos Aires. The La Bombonera, though, is indeed it's the Colosseum for all great warriors in Buenos Aires and in Argentina. If you haven't done it at the La Bombonera, you haven't done it anywhere in Spain. It is called the Super Classico. I've been 3 times to the Super Classico. Boca Juniors, River Plate. Let me tell you how. Listen, there are police escorts from 6 hours before the game. On the bridge, there's a very famous bridge. You cross over the bridge if you're the away fans, River Plate fans. In order to get into the stadium, it is a 3-hour process just for the away fans to sit. The police are there 6 hours before, and it's like the National Guard kind of police, not just chubby old Joe who does traffic. It is insane. It is warlike. There are deaths every game. Listen, don't let anybody lie to you. This is unbelievable. It transcends everything. It transcends all the rules. There are no rules, to the point where you have to be police escorted across the bridge if you're a River Plate fan. They take you into your section. They ensure you are in there. They lock you in. And I believe it was about 2.5 hours that they had to be in there before the kickoff. Right? I've always said with the Boca Juniors fans, I support Boca in that whole matchup. But then here's the interesting part. In the ultras section, there are no stewards allowed and there are no police allowed. They believe it causes more trouble when you allow police and stewards into that ultra section. So if you ever get to see the Super Classico at the chocolate box, you'll see there is no security. No other stadium in the world is like this from the research I've done. There is zero security. There are zero police allowed into the ultra stand of Boca Juniors. This is what we're talking about. But folks, it's about 100. It's somewhere between 100 and 120 because they really don't follow the rules. People just stream in, ticket, no ticket. They kind of just make it work, and you're not stopping the fever there, folks. It is like a riot, an organized riot. It is the most. I felt like every time, 3 times, every time I felt like my heart was going to pop out of my chest. The greatest derby on planet Earth. If you have the money, if you have the time, if you're looking for something as a sports fan to take you to the next level, I have sports events I want to go to, but they're going to struggle to match this because I still want to go back. I'd love to go every single year to both Super Classicos. Folks, at the La Bombonera, I guarantee you, if you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, there is no event on this planet, and I believe I've been to all of the great games globally, and I think I've seen them all. UK, Italy, Spain. I've seen all the big games. Madrid derby. I've seen Espanyol, Barcelona. I've seen every game in the Premier League that you want to go and watch. All of them combined. This top 5 combined. Tyne-Wear derby, Old Firm derby, Milan derby, the El Clasico in Spain. All of them combined do not come close. If you combine the emotion of the other 4, they don't come close to matching the emotion of the Super Classico. The experience before. It's the food, it's the singing, it's everything about it. It is everything about it that makes it unbelievably special. It's the most special derby, I think, in world sport. It is unbelievable. La Bombonera, Chocolate Box, Boca Juniors, River Plate. Put it in your diary. Make it your next travel destination if you're a sports fan. There is nothing on planet Earth like it. Nothing. I don't care what sport event you've been to, where you think you've had the best time. You will never make it a week. Take a week because they set it up from a week out, and it is a Super Classico week, and it is a rager. Parties every night, River, Boca fans together, and it's a mess. Fights, party, drinking. and you can, the monsters come out and play at night. It is phenomenal. Number 5, Tyne-Wear Derby. 4, Old Firm Derby. 3, Milan Derby. 2, El Clasico. And 1, Super Clasico. Tyne-Wear Derby, Newcastle, Sunderland. Old Firm Derby, Celtic Rangers. A Milan Derby, AC Inter Milan. And El Clasico, Spain, of course. That is Barcelona, Real Madrid. And the Super Clasico in Argentina, Boca Juniors at the La Bombonera play the Great River Plate. Those are my top 5 best derbies ever. Awesome. I mean, if you're a football fan, right, that's what it's about. There's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than big football days. You enjoy the day before. I do it a little different now because I probably want the better seats. I don't want to slum it. Except at the Super Clasico, then I want to get into the ultras end, and I'm bopping up and down for 3 hours. I'm there for it. But for everything else, I'd like some nicer seats. I'm old now. I can't be slumming it with the guys down in there. But hey, I'll take it. If somebody's got tickets for the El Clasico next season, even this season, I will fly over there and enjoy that game. All right, I thought I'd finish off with this. I've been chatting to a few United fans, reading. I'm always just catching up on football news, and obviously this is my job, so I try and sort of keep on top of it. And then I thought, that result and the manner of the dominance by Man City should concern Man United fans for a couple of reasons. I'll give you my reasons why you should be more concerned than just the loss. It's not just about the loss. Because in life, we all have different expectations, right? Like, some people expect to win. Some people just like to participate. And, that's okay. It's okay wherever you are, right? Because, like, even if you go to private school, everyone has the same money. Everyone has no problems. You just get some kids who want to win and some kids who are just happy to be there. So they're not struggling for resources. It's not like anything's a problem. And then you just see real personalities come through, what Maslow called self-actualization, right? And some people self-actualize in being driven and wanting to win and wanting to be first and being the best. And some people just happy to participate. Listen, in the last decade or so, Man United and Man City have gone opposite directions. It's been probably tough watching if you're a Man United fan, and you're loving it if you're a City fan. Right? So I just want to make something clear. There's this illusion that Man City are outspending everybody and they're miles ahead in terms of spending. It's not true. Just go and look at the numbers. Yes, they've spent more than everyone else, but it's not like they've tripled the spending of Chelsea or Man United. That's just not true. And in the last 2 years, they've only spent £20 million more than Man United. So since Ollie's gotten there, Man City have only outspent them by £20 million. What should worry you is that Ollie's had basically, give it a season, the same time as Pep Guardiola at Man United. And he spent only £20 million less. So let's just say he spent the same amount of money. Pep Guardiola in his first season is like, this is not going to work. He said, look here, I see this, it's not going to work. Pep Guardiola in his second season changed the face of British football. That's the standard in Man City now. Like, that is the standard. You come in, we give you the money. First season, we understand. Second season, win, and win big. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spent £20 million less. Man United spent £20 million less in the last 2 years. And they still will be just happy to be in the top 4. They're out of the Champions League. And that was men against boys a couple of days ago. That was unacceptable. And it's not, don't give me the spending. Man United spent only £20 million less. That should worry you if you're a Man United fan. And I know everybody wants to be Ollie in, Ollie that. Is once you spend money, you shorten your window, right? You shorten the time frame. That's what you're doing. When you spend money, you say no excuses. That's what you're saying. You're saying, okay, well, I'm shortening, I'm bringing in talent, so I don't have to develop anything. We better fast track this. Pep Guardiola won all 3 trophies in his second year. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to win nothing this season and be happy to be top 4. That's what should worry Man United fans for me, is that is acceptable now at Man United. Because what it says is that two things have developed at Man United. It's the fourth manager in a row now where they've got it wrong, right? Because they're spending the money. So the spending the money is not the problem. And then the other problem is that the recruitment is beyond horrendous. Folks, I can forgive bad recruitment and a good manager. But when you have bad recruitment, you spend big, and you don't recruit the manager well, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster. Man City have gone the other direction. Every manager they've really had, Pellegrini, hit. Mancini, hit. Pep Guardiola, hit. Players, Aguero, hit. Company, hit. John Stones, he's coming around now, hit. Diaz, hit. David Silva, hit. Right, Gael Clichy, hit. Sanya, hit. Aguero, Jesus, hit. De Bruyne, hit. Who's a hit at Man United? Bruno Fernandes? Of all the players they spent really big money on post-Fergie, that's 7 years. Even in the last decade, really. Bruno Fernandes? Outside of that, who's the big hit? I'm not going to include Robin Van Persie. That was one season. That's a lot. £30 million, a lot of money for just one season's production. Yes, it's a title, but whew. So Man United should be really worried. Ollie's in his second, he's really in his third year managing. He came in 2018. And they are that far off the pace, and they've only spent £20 million less than Man City in the last 2 years. That should scare Man United. Forget about the result. Listen, Pep's the best of all time. It should scare you how far Man United are behind Man City. That should scare you. That performance was Man City's B team against the best Man United have. And in the last 2 years, you've spent the same money as Man City, and you are way off. You are way. I mean, that was embarrassing. I mean, Chelsea got embarrassed, right? Nobody must deny that, but that was embarrassing. That could have been ugly. That could have been 5 or 6. It was absolutely embarrassing, and it's not about money. United have got the wrong manager again, and they've spent badly in a cycle again. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Fred's not good enough. Fred's not good enough. Maguire's not good enough. Lindelof's not good enough. Luke Shaw, I have my problem with him being overweight, so he's not good enough. Moving to up front, what's going on there? Martial's not good enough. Rashford's homegrown, so his numbers are good for a youngster. I like Rashford because he's a grown-up. Greenwood, you're never sure. I've got problems with the discipline and the character stuff off the field. They have not hit on Man United have not hit in a decade on a signing outside of Bruno Fernandes. That's what should worry you. Because I tell you what, it's not a blip. Now it's a trend. It's in the character of the club that something's wrong with the recruiting. They've got it wrong since Fergie left. I mean, even Fergie wasn't recruiting well. He was just so good. He was a legendary manager, right? How he made it work in that last season. But now we're looking at 8 years, and the only good signing they've made is Bruno Fernandes. And I'm talking by Manchester United standards. If you want mediocrity, okay, I guess Luke Shaw's worked out. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I'm still on the fence. I still don't think he's Reece James. He's not Trent Alexander-Arnold. Because in the modern day, I like that he can defend, but I need you to be able to go forward. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, when he crosses the halfway line, he gets a nosebleed. He's got no clue where he is. So that is a problem. He's got forget about end product. He's got no product. So if you want to be Man United, you want to be getting closer to Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Tariq Lamptey. I'd probably take Lamptey over Wan-Bissaka. And I know Man United fans love Wan-Bissaka's defense. But you've got Bruno Fernandes, who is the only Man United player who is Man United level in the last 8 years. You don't have to like what I'm saying, but if you can name me a player that Man United signed in the last 10 years, outside of Robin Van Persie, that was 1 year. I'm afraid that's not enough to justify a signing. 10 years. In the last 10 years, a player that Man United signed that's worked out. You can't name one. So this is that Ollie's not going to work. Like that showed you. That was after 2 years, Pep Guardiola won every trophy in England. And he spent 20 million pounds more than. Listen, in the last 2 years, Man City have only spent 20 million pounds more. That shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening. Man United should not be that far behind Man City because that looked like boys versus men. Not good. Not good. Listen, it is FA Cup. Not sure how many of the games are going to go ahead this weekend. So that's going to be tough. But anyway, that is what it is. For me, I cannot wait. I'm big into the NFL. I cannot wait. NFL, college football, there's Test cricket. India, Australia is going to be a humdinger. Steve Smith is back. Cummins is on fire. It is just an awesome thing to watch. So for me, it is a sporting weekend to behold. I cannot wait to get home, get on the couch, eat some. Listen, I don't know if you've been to Woolworths and had those giant pretzels. Those are my favorite. Those salty giant pretzels. That is my snack of choice. So I cannot wait to sit on my couch, eat giant pretzels, and stay hydrated this weekend. That's at my age, that's what's exciting. Eating pretzels, sitting on the couch, and staying hydrated. That's what happens. That's what happens when you get to my age. But other than that, I cannot wait for Monday. So much great sport. Can't wait to report on it on Monday. Looking forward to having you. For tonight, though, folks, you could have been anywhere with anybody. You chose to be with us. I'm MKT. This is Cliff Central Sport. That's Gareth Cliff. This is the MKT Show. And for this week and for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for now, we are the hell out of here.